What's going on, guys? Andrew here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about NIO and some other plays that I'm looking forward to in the end of the week. NIO is currently down 7%, but I actually added more today and I'm going to tell you guys why. So make sure you stick throughout the whole video. We're going to be going over some plays and of course why I'm putting more money into NIO. And real quickly before we get into it, my last video was on CCIV, and it actually hit 21 today from our 16.5 entry when the video came out. So congratulations to those who saw, and make sure you guys turn on post notification because you want to get the best entries possible for these. So in the beginning of the week, NIO took advantage of their recent stock pump due to NIO Day, and what they did is they are selling a certain amount of shares for a certain amount of money, and they took advantage of that high price, and they're going to be using that cash to sturdy up their balance sheet and to overall improve their business. Now, there hasn't been any serious news on NIO today and why it's dropping so much, but I think it could be because the offering ends today. As you can see from right here, it's expected to close today. So people might be selling off. They might be taking profits from NIO Day or just getting their weak hands shaken out before we start the big pump. But a lot of these people are losing sight of the long-term benefits, and of course, they're going to be left in the dust once the stock starts to go. Now, some news surfacing around the internet about NIO is that they might actually have to build a second assembly line due to their surge in orders from the ET7 that was revealed on NIO Day. And these reports are saying that the orders might already be over 40,000, which is really good in terms of their competitiveness in China against Tesla. So if we take a look at the technical analysis here, you can see that NIO is actually trying to fill the gap that formed on the 7th to the 8th. And we're going to have to see if it can bounce right there. But as you can see, I'm liking the bounce because look at the selling volume right here compared to the buying volume on the run-up. The sell was very dramatic, but the volume isn't very high. It's not like people are wanting to sell a stock. They all saw NIO Day. They all want to hold this for long term. So I think the weak hands are just getting shaken out here. We're going to have to see if we can hold this 55 level. If not, we might drop back down to the low 50s. But of course, I'm going to continue to add because I have long-term faith in this company. And I think people selling out right now just don't see the long-term benefits. The next stock we're going to be talking about is Palantir Technologies, and this little image I'm showing you guys right now is the transactions that ARK ETFs made on the 14th or yesterday, and as you can see, they added 500,000 shares to the ARK W ETF. So this is huge, and this actually caused a huge after-hour spike yesterday, and a lot of people started talking about it on why Cathie Woods is loading up on Palantir, and it started a lot of hype. And the thing with Palantir is, if you know Wall Street bets, you know how much they love Palantir, and you know how much they love creating hype around that stock. So this stock is a really good momentum stock if it can continue its momentum throughout today. And we're going to look at the chart setup in a second, but I really like this stock because it has a great chart setup, and it's going to be building a lot of momentum if Cathie Woods continues to buy, as we've seen a lot of stocks get momentum from it, like Roku, Tesla, Square, and other things like that. So if you're unaware of what Palantir does, it basically just collects big data and analysis. So if you're unaware of what Palantir does, it basically just takes data from different companies or different governments, and what they do is they take that data and they try to find trends within that you can use. And they have deals with the US government, Ferrari, Airbus, and a bunch of different companies like that. And this year, they've been racking up government contracts. As you can see by the title of this article, they've secured nearly $150 million worth of new contracts. If we take a look at the chart here, you can see that Palantir had a volume of 90 million today compared to their average volume of 40 million. So it had a huge day with the breakout, which is what we like to see on chart pattern breakouts, as you can see with this big green candle here, but it did get rejected at my first resistance around this 28.26 area. So I want to see it hold this 25.1 area in order to move higher, possibly into the low to mid 30s. And I think if we do break out again next week, then we're going to see some FOMO into it. As you know, Wall Street Bets is in love with this stock. So I really like it. It's been doing well in terms of their government contracts and everything. And I think people are just afraid because of how much it ran up since they IPO'd in October, that they don't want to get caught at the top. But it looks really good. The chart setup looks really good. I think it's going to break out next week. So the next stock we're going to be looking at is Twtr, and Twitter's been under a lot of heat recently due to the recent events with banning Donald Trump from their platform. A lot of people think they need to set a double standard and that they are violating his right to free speech. So this stock has been selling off recently, and I'm going to show you guys the chart and why I think we're going to get a bounce. So we can see this week Twtr has been kind of in a free fall, but it's actually approaching this trend line it's been holding since the bottom of the virus. So what we're going to have to see is if it can hold this 45 level here. There has been some pretty good volume here, but as you can see, this huge candle right here is actually a big wick rejection candle at this 45.25 level. So we're going to have to see if it can hold that, and if it can, I think we're going to bounce off this support and trend line, and we're going to possibly make our way towards this gap fill near the 50 level. So as long as news doesn't come out within the next week or so, I think this is a really high reward, low risk setup. You can just use your stop loss as below this trend line right here. And if we do get the bounce, we could definitely see like a 4-point move, which is about 10% of the underlying stock. And that's going to be really good, especially if you're playing options. But if you're playing shares too, that's fine. It's going to be a really nice move there. But just make sure you get some confirmation on a bounce here. We actually entered early. I got some options this morning. But if you do see this bounce on the trend line, then that's going to be your confirmation, and I would aim for this gap fill level here at 50.13. So the market this week, we saw a double top at this 3A18 level, and we're going to have to see how this plays out. This 3747 level is a key support. We're going to have to see if it holds. It had some big selling volume today, so I'm not too optimistic, but these are just going to be the levels you have to play. I'm a little bit bearish because of the selling volume and just the overall levels that are being broken as well. But as long as we hold 3747, I'm still bullish, but we're going to have to see if we can hold that level. And inauguration day is on Wednesday, so I just want you guys to be careful. Make sure you play your positions light, of course, because we don't know how the price action is going to affect the overall market, but it could affect something. Something weird could happen, something with Trump or something with Biden could happen, but just make sure you're playing light and you should be okay. So just because NIO had a bad day does not mean I'm going to sell my position and get my weekend shaken out. There's no real news or any bearish news that is causing the sell-off. It's just a lot of people taking profits, people being scared of the offering, not really understanding the benefits of it for the future. So that's my thoughts on buying the dip on NIO and my setups for the next week. And if you made it this far into the video, I just want to thank you so much for all your recent support. After our huge viral video that I had, which almost hit 21K views, we're at near 500 subscribers. And I never thought we would reach it this fast, only being about a month and a half into this channel. So I'm going to keep continuing to throw out videos for you guys, news, keep you guys up to date. Other than that, guys, this is the end of the video. Enjoy your weekend, and peace.